Red Bull is reportedly frustrated with the FIA's recent stance on front-wing flexibility, despite teams advocating for more clarity. The governing body has made a decision that seemingly rendered Red Bull's car developments ineffective. Could this setback push them out of championship contention? If so, will it pave the way for McLaren to dominate in 2025, given that the Woking-based team benefited the most from front-wing flexibility since the Spanish Grand Prix? Starting from the Spanish GP, a new technical directive from the FIA aims to limit front-wing flexibility. The governing body justifies this measure as a way to promote fairness and ensure compliance with fundamental technical regulations, something teams struggled with throughout 2024. Meanwhile, rear-wing regulations will remain mostly unchanged in 2025, with only minor tweaks introduced in Australia that are not expected to be as significant as those affecting the front wings. This is because the FIA has already addressed McLaren's mini DRS loophole. With active aerodynamics becoming a reality under the new regulations and DRS set to be removed, there is little excitement surrounding rear-wing adjustments in 2025. However, front wings are a different story. Often referred to as flexi-wings, they allow teams to optimize aerodynamics by balancing grip in slow corners and stability at high speeds. While this helped reduce low-speed understeer and high-speed oversteer, it was technically not legal, as regulations dictate that front-wing plates should not move under specific conditions. Red Bull and Ferrari pushed the FIA for regulatory changes in this area, particularly after Mercedes adopted McLaren's aerodynamic innovation. Though the updates did not yield the same results for the W15 as they did for the MCL38, they were still permitted on front wings. Red Bull was initially assured that McLaren and Mercedes innovations would be banned for 2025. However, the FIA's final verdict came as a shock. The governing body decided not to implement stricter front-wing tests for 2024 to 2025. Red Bull's Christian Horner and Helmut Marko expressed disappointment, revealing they had received direct assurances from the FIA that the matter would be addressed in the latter half of the season. This decision has hit Red Bull particularly hard, as they have struggled with other aspects of car development, contributing to Verstappen's unexpected 10-race winless streak, until his spectacular victory in Brazil, assisted by favorable weather conditions. Now, everything resets for 2025, and Red Bull fears the RB21 might not be as competitive as expected under these new front-wing regulations. With the FIA refraining from additional front-wing tests in 2025, McLaren is poised to benefit significantly, having pursued this development direction since their mid-2023 resurgence. Meanwhile, Red Bull has taken a more restrictive approach to front-wing design. Whether the FIA is to blame or Red Bull miscalculated its strategy, the reality is that the RB21 is expected to suffer due to a lack of progress in front-wing flexibility. McLaren, paradoxically, advocated for stricter front-wing tests despite benefiting from the loophole. They recognized that Ferrari and Red Bull had caught up with them mid-season. As a result, the FIA mandated that the internal front-wing flap should flex from 3 mm to 2 mm in static tests, while the external flap must decrease from 15 mm to 10 mm. Red Bull now faces the challenge of rethinking its front-wing design. No easy task given their current RB21 development commitments, which may not favor them against the competition. McLaren, on the other hand, remains steadfast in its pursuit of innovation. The team has consistently introduced upgrades without encountering significant regulatory setbacks, reinforcing their confidence for 2025. Team principal Andrea Stella stated that McLaren is focusing on groundbreaking advancements. He emphasized that by mid-season, they realized small incremental improvements would not suffice, prompting them to take a bold new direction for the upcoming year. Stella hopes this approach will provide McLaren with a competitive edge, potentially leading to dominant performances similar to Red Bull's in 2023. While he acknowledges that this could make races less unpredictable, McLaren's goal is to maintain a substantial advantage over rivals. Given the FIA's recent stance, McLaren's dominance could become a reality from the first race of 2025. The upcoming season promises to be one of the most competitive in recent memory, but with the front-wing testing freeze, it raises the question of whether a team has wasted significant resources on developments that may no longer be relevant. Ferrari, another major contender, could also be affected. The Maranello squad was rapidly catching up to McLaren, and if their 2025 car development stalls, It will likely be due to the FIA's regulatory adjustments. Red Bull, however, faces the greatest concern. The team has already struggled to refine the RB21's performance, relying heavily on Verstappen to extract maximum potential, even when their car was only the third fastest on the grid. With McLaren and Ferrari now favored to lead the pack, Verstappen may find himself in an unfamiliar midfield battle, which could prompt him to reconsider his long-term future with Red Bull. This topic has been widely discussed, with Verstappen's father, Jos Verstappen, openly criticizing Red Bull's management for their car development missteps and the internal turmoil that plagued the team in 2024. Pierre Watch, Red Bull's technical director, also highlighted correlation issues in the RB21's development. He explained that when correlation is lost, engineers can no longer trust their tools, leading to uncertainty and ineffective development choices. This problem has compounded Red Bull's struggles and could significantly impact their 2025 performance. Red Bull's internal challenges have been well documented throughout 2024. While it remains unclear whether these issues directly contributed to their mid-season decline, the team must now navigate an uncertain future. Verstappen's future at Red Bull is increasingly uncertain, with speculation suggesting he may reconsider his commitment to the team in 2026 if results do not improve under the new regulations. His father has strongly hinted that Red Bull must provide a competitive car or risk losing their star driver. For Red Bull, the pressure is not just on 2026, but also on the immediate challenge of 2025. Verstappen has voiced concerns about the RB21's development and his ability to compete for a fifth championship. Unfortunately for him, things have only worsened since late 2024. Jos Verstappen reiterated that Max's future at Red Bull depends on the team's ability to build a car capable of winning races. If that no longer seems possible, a move to another team cannot be ruled out. Red Bull needs to produce a more predictable and competitive car. Given their struggles in the latter half of 2024, there is little reason to be optimistic. If Red Bull failed to maintain their dominance last year, why should things improve in 2025? With all this in mind, do you think Red Bull has valid reasons to be upset with the FIA's front-wing regulations? And if the situation remains unchanged, could McLaren completely dominate 2025? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to hear Lewis Hamilton's latest insights on Ferrari's testing, click on the video appearing on your screen right now.